Okay, so I see over the years you've had several tracks on a number of rhythms, like Solely Leave, Infusion, Good Terms, and so forth. When you're do the producers of these rhythms like reach out to you, give you the rhythm, and then you find lyrics for the tracks?
Okay.
How does that work?
Funny
Just
story.
curious.
I had an experience. My first experience with a rhythm was back in, what year was that? 2013, maybe 2014. I think it was 13. But it wasn't even supposed to be a rhythm. So I'm in the studio by Berger. Shout out to Berger, Masterpiece Studios. So it's me, Berger, and Cobweb. Big up Cobweb. And Cobweb played me one of the beats that he was working on. And I was like, oh, this is nice. I like this. And we penned the song and we titled it Brace. Right? So that particular song ended up being a rhythm. Like they titled the rhythm the Wine and Brace rhythm. So
Okay.
from that song, I think another artist came and heard it. Either the artist or the artist management. Don't quote me. It was a long time ago. I have
Right.
a horrible memory. But somebody heard the song and said, hey, they want to sing a song on the rhythm too.
Right.
So from that rhythm, it was my song, Brace, T.N. Winters, Twerk It, Skinny Fabulous, yeah, go down, go down, go down,
Right.
go down, go down. So I was like, oh my god, I was excited now, because oh my gosh, these two big artists on the same rhythm with me. So
And you were
my
the first.
song, yeah, so my song must get played now. No. It didn't work out how I thought it was gonna work out in my head, because I'm like, okay, yeah. Because by then now you study the trends where in the like parties or radio, wherever,
Yeah.
when there's a rhythm, you play a bit of each song. Boy, I barely heard the little praise.
Oh my.
But back then, shout out to Tian. He did invite me a few times to perform with him.
When he's doing that track.
Yeah. So
Good
I got a little singing, a little playing. But man, it cut me deep. So I was very intimidated to do another rhythm because of that experience. But I didn't understand enough of, what, pushing the song, marketing the song. Like at that time I relied on, okay, it's on a rhythm, so it has to play.
Yeah,
But
I feel
no, you still had to do your bit of
Your
it. So
little
all
work,
all that is a part of the learning curve. So I was shy about doing other rhythms, but after that I was like, you know what? Many years later, I was asked to be a part of the Liberta, isn't it? No, the 81 vintage. The 81 vintage rhythm. Now, we did this. We actually recorded this just before the lockdown happened. So, but it was released the year later. The 81
Okay.
vintage rhythm. So that's Captain.
Okay,
So it's
okay.
me, Menace, Tian, Ricardo on that rhythm. And my song is Captain. And then after that, it was a Soleil Levé, and then what was the other one? The Infusion and Good Terms. But yeah, producers reach out to you, just like with the 81 vintage rhythm and Good Terms. It's the same team.
Okay.
So, and we've worked together before. Yeah, so shout out to Culture. So we've worked together before, so Culture would reach out and say, hey, I'm working on a project, I'd like you to be a part of it. And then with the Soleil Levé now, I was recommended because those producers, they are, I think, Vincentian American.
Yeah.
Right? And how that came about is my vocal engineer, Wildfire, shout out to Wildfire, they work with him for, different reasons and whatnot. And they said to him, listen, I'm doing a project. One of the artists, she's also a producer of the rhythm. and she said, I'm working on this rhythm. I want it to be female only, but I want women from different, islands. I'm looking for an Antiguan, and he shouted my name.
Right.
So she reached out to me and just introduced herself. We met via social media, and I listened to the beat. And it's so funny because that year I said I wanted to dabble or just experiment a little bit with compa, like a kind of compa beat.
Right.
And when I heard the rhythm, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I was like, wow, how is this so perfect that this is something that I wanted to do this year, and that's exactly what the rhythm sounds like. Yeah. So, but yeah, producers, they reach out to you, and you are responsible for writing your song. Most times you're responsible for your writing and recording, and then they will handle like the mixing and the mastering. But I've just been blessed to be a part of some really dope projects. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
No,
oh yeah,
so
Project Romance too. Yeah. Well, I'm on Project Romance. I just remember that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm so glad you mentioned mixing, mastering. Now we're gonna start getting technical here.
Okay.
The first thing I'm gonna say is I've noticed you have a lot of subscribers on YouTube.
You think so?
Yay! 5,000 subscribers. 5,000 is good.
I build it.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. I've done my little research.
Okay.
See what numbers people got.
I need to do better with my YouTube. Absolutely.
So my question is, with the YouTube, are you monetized?
Not exactly. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
You opened your account here in Antigua?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you aware that we're not a part of the YouTube payment program?
No. Like I said, I'm still trying to research it, so...
Yeah.
So you have to open it from...
Another country.
Part of
the program.
Oh,
So
interesting.
this here, Bar for Bar TV, is registered in the United States.
Nice.
So I said I would ask you that because even though you may not be monetized there, I know you're monetized in other places, which we're gonna get to, the Spotify's, iTunes.
Yeah.
Tell me about your journey in getting your music to those platforms.
Okay.
And how the system works.
Okay. So, again, over the years, back then when I started, you just record your song, burn the CD, and you give out the CD. If you happen to be on a radio station, you bring your CD, and then they copy it. But as the times went along, and you realize, okay, no, it's different now. So, it's just been a lot of advice from different producers and writers that I work with to say, hey, this is the trend now. This is what I do to get my music. You need to get your music on streaming platforms. Or what is a streaming platform? At that time, that was a conversation. And they explained it to me. And it's just like someone would say, okay, I use TuneCore, for example. This is what I use to put it on streaming platforms. Or somebody else may use DistroKid. And then, so when you have these bits of information now, you just a little bit of research to see, well, which one would work better for you. Yeah, it's still a learning process. Like right now, I use DistroKid I used TuneCore previously, and now I use DistroKid. But then now we're getting into the, splits. How do you prepare your split sheets? What program do you use to prepare your split sheets? And then are you registered with a registration body?
Those who don't know what a split sheet is.
Right, so a split sheet is if you collaborate with somebody for writing a song. So for me, for example, I'm not a writer 100%, so I have people that would write and produce for me. So the producer always gets 50%, right? The producer, whoever made the beat, they get 50%. And then the other 50 is split between the performer/artist and all of the writers involved. So depending on how many people, that 50% is split different ways. So
I love your
yeah.
A lot of these artists in Antigua, they don't understand how it works.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
amazed that you're on these
Yeah.
platforms
Because
and doing your thing.
when
know?
you do that, you have to. It's advisable for every artist to register with a body, whether it's BMI or ASCAP or COT, whichever works for you.
Right.
When you register your songs there, you have to include the split.
Right.
So before you release a song, should be hopefully, or just after you release a song,
Right.
you organize the splits first, so that even if you release the song first, soon and very soon after, you're able to register your song with the BMI or whoever you're registered with, and you have your splits organized accordingly, because that's one of the things that you have to do. You have to enter how is the song split.
Right,
Yeah.
Who gets what percentage?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But then I just found out that BMI, they only record like I may not be explaining it properly, but how I understand it to be is they only collect like from like what is like the streaming platforms, but not necessarily if you're performing the song in the States. In the States, I just found out in the States there's somebody at every single concert, any kind of music, anything where music is involved, there's a representative there recording what is being played. And then that's how those artists will get royalties as well. So there's another company called Song Trust that's their bit too. So you get royalties from both places. Okay. So you register with Song Trust, you register your songs there. So for example, if I'm to perform at Miami Carnival or Atlanta or anywhere in the States, there's somebody there that is taking note of all the artists that perform, what they perform, and then they send that information to Song Trust, and then Song Trust will do what it's doing in the back end, and you get your performing royalties as well. Because BMI don't handle performing royalties. Yeah, it's pretty technical. It's really, really technical. But
and I think that's what deters certain artists from trying to learn it. You know?
Yeah, it's
because
definitely a learning curve. Yeah.
You know, to get your money. I mean,
so unless you are a artist that you heavily tour and you're able to see your revenue that way, on the back end you have to make sure that you are registered with the bodies that will work for you to collect what you should be receiving.
Knowing that, what advice would you give to any new artist that's never made a song before but is now ready to start recording at a studio or wherever?
Research.
What's the first piece of advice?
Go to YouTube. YouTube
Research
has
the business.
so much, so many informative channels. You know what I mean? I call it YouTube University. Because even if you don't know how to register a song, there's someone there to break it down for you. You know, so don't be ashamed to research via YouTube. You know what I mean? Pros and cons of different registration companies, and just see what works for you after you've gathered all that information. What works for you? If you're going to be an independent artist, which most of us are, because we don't have a record label doing all the work for us. You need to research, well, what do I need to do to complete from conceptualizing, recording a song, releasing it, and then making sure everything is registered in the back end. Make sure you have all those steps checked off, so that you know that, all right, even if it's one good song, you followed all the steps and you've done it properly. Like, I would say don't half-ass it. Like, make sure you do it properly.
Sure.
Yeah.
True. Well, good stuff. So is it fair to say that you have an income coming from music? Much as it might not be much?
Not a lot.
Really?
No,
So
not
there's
a
no
lot.
royalties or anything like that?
I haven't seen much, but I think part of it had to do with probably registering something incorrectly, because I'm still looking into fixing if there was an error. And I just discovered Song Trust, so once that is completed, I might see more from that end. But right now, the revenue for me as an artist comes with performing. So I get booked for a show,
Right.
an event, and that's my immediate source of income,
Gotcha.
being booked or hired for a show. Yeah.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
hope that if Walt Disney decides to take one of your songs and put it in a
Listen, that'd be
cartoon,
so dope.
that your
Like
bank account goes
Netflix
flying
or
through the
yeah,
roof.
one
You
of
know what I
those
mean?
series,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
what's up. That's what's up.
Absolutely.
Definitely. All right. So now, well, over the years you've had a lot of experience. You entered a lot of competitions. You've done a lot of emceeing, a lot of hosting, and we saw you travel to Miami for the soca finals competition.
Yes.
Now, first of all, how did that come about? Were you selected?
That's a story. We have time.
Oh, for real?
Okay, yeah, that's a story. I was referred, so I didn't know that it existed. So a colleague of a colleague,
Right.
she reached out to me and she said, "Hey, this is happening. I don't know if you're aware of it. I referred the promoter to you. The deadline was actually the day she messaged me. So she said, reach out to them. They're expecting your message because I said, hey, this is somebody that should be in this competition."
You mind me asking
So-
what month this is?
This was October. Well, September because the carnival is in October. So let's say mid September thereabout.
Well, am I correct in saying that there was a press release on the 26th of September, and then the show was to be held on October the 7th?
Yes.
So-
So,
So you
just
found out like a month?
just before the press release, literally maybe 2 days before, I messaged them to find out, hey, I heard about this. Is it too late to register? And the promoter said, no, we were expecting you. This is what you need to do. Complete this form, submit your tracks, and then we'll get back to you to see whether or not you've passed the round to be in the semifinals.
Right.
So I did all what I was supposed to do, made it to the semifinals round, and that was the press release.
Wow.
So then they contacted and said, yes, you made it to the finals. So the finals meant that you actually got to perform at the Soca Monarch in Miami.
Right.
So I was part of, I think it was 15 artists. So it was myself, Drastic, and Lowrider from Antigua. Yeah, and then we had other representatives from other islands.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
St. Thomas, Belize, St. Vincent,
Right.
Grenada,
Right,
Trinidad, Barbados.
right.
And I must say, I couldn't help but notice
Mm-hmm.
that Antigua was the only island that had 3 representatives
Yeah.
amongst the
Yeah.
list.
So we were
poppin'.
hyped when we got there. We were excited. We were ready to go.
Yeah.
But there were a few. Well, not a few. There was a lot of behind the scenes not technical as in tech, but logistics
To be worked out.
issues that prevented me and a few of the other artists to not perform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't get to perform. But Drastic did. Shout out to Drastic, and I think he placed second.
He did?
Yeah.
He didn't get to perform?
No, I didn't perform. Part of the logistics that didn't go well was the timing of the event.
Okay.
So it didn't start when it was supposed to start. It started way later than it was supposed to start, and unfortunately I couldn't remain at the venue till that time because it was really, really late.
Oh.
Yeah, so I made a hard decision to just forfeit and just leave because it was really, really late. But again, it was some logistic issues. Some of the artists they got to stay and they performed, but I was one of them that I couldn't stay and I left, had to go. But yeah, that was that.
You were there though.
I was there. I got to meet some of the other artists. We got to
Right.
link, and
Right.
it's just always good to meet and to network with other artists in your field, or other artists. Period. You know what I mean? Because everybody's always looking to meet somebody and network and just vibe off of each other,
True.
see what energy this person is bringing. Even with just talking to other artists, it's nice to be able to come out of your comfort zone and just meet new people.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and when it's someone that is in the same field like you, that's even better. So
Yeah,
yeah.
true. Good stuff.